Hello, here in this video we're going to be looking at week 20 homework. It's the one due this Friday here. We can see that. So let's go through and talk about this. It says for each polynomial below, factor by first finding the greatest common factor. So we're looking for our GCF here, as we often abbreviate it. Now what that is we're going through and looking for the largest or the greatest number that we can divide everything by. And also we'll be looking for perhaps maybe can we also factor out some of our variables. All right, so let's look at an easier example here first for, say we're looking at one like number 2. So we're thinking, okay, I have a 10x plus a 25. So right off the bat I recognize that since both of these do not have an x, I know I won't be factoring out a variable. I'll just be looking to decide what's the largest number I can divide both a 10 and a 25 by, and I recognize that it's a 5. So once I divide everything by the 5, we're really just dividing our coefficients. So 10 divided by 5 takes me to a 2. 25 divided by 5 takes me to a 5. So this would be our factored answer here once we factor out that greatest common factor. Now remember, you can double check your answer by redistributing this 5, and you should get right back to your original answer. Alright, so let's check one out here like number 8. So I see that I am going to have a number that I can divide both the 8 and the 16 by, and I'm also going to have some variables that I can factor out. I see r to the third power here. I see r squared here. So I'm going to be looking for to factor out as many as possible, which is going to be 2. Right? I can take 2 r's from here, and that's going to be fine here. The reason I can't factor out a 3r, r to the third power rather, is because I only have r squared here. I can't take out an r to the third power if I only have an r squared. And for the 8 and the 16, the largest number that we'll divide that is a 4. Alright, so 4r squared is the largest term that we can factor out. It's our greatest common factor. So now we'll go through and decide 8 divided by 4 gives me a 2. R to the third power divided by r squared gives me a regular r. Alright, 16 divided by 4 gives me a 4. R squared divided by r squared gives me a 1, so it just goes away, leaving me with a plus 4. So all we're really doing here is dividing the numbers by the number out in front and subtracting our exponents, right? R to the third power minus 2 takes me to 1r. R squared minus an r squared, 2 exponent minus the 2 exponent just leaves me with no r's left over. Now remember, you can always double check your answer by distributing this 4r squared back by these two terms. You should get right back to your final answer. Alright, so now sometimes on these, if you're looking through, even though there'll be 3 terms here, like on 10, we see the 16x squared and 18x plus a 12. You're only going to be able to factor out a number there, right? This has x squared, this has an x, this doesn't have an x. So we won't be able to factor out any x's. We'll be looking just to factor out our a number there, right, from our coefficients. But sometimes with 3 terms, you will run into a case here. So let's take a look here at number 15. I take a look at the 27, the 18, and the 9, determine that 9 is the largest number that I can divide out. Now I see y to the 8th power, y to the 5th power, and a y squared. So that's telling me that y squared is the largest term I can pull out. Right? I can take 2 from there, I can take 2 from all of them, but I can't take any more than 2. So now we just go through and divide our numbers and subtract our exponents. Notice how the last term turned into a 1 there, right? Because 9y squared divided by 9y squared. Anytime we have a number divided by itself, it's going to leave us left over with just a 1.